My name is Connor. This is our story.
Hi fans. I think the fact that you can play the game so many different ways and compare your experience to your friend's experience is puts the player in control of the directing and the acting and the writing, and I think that this is a new, not new, but
unique.
Yeah, it's like all the toys are in the toy box, and you just spill it onto the table, and then you play with them however you like.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Okay, yeah.
Take this,
Well, one of the big differences between filming a television show and filming for performance capture is that there is no set, there's no hair and makeup, it's no costumes, it's all in your imagination. So that's one of the biggest differences, and also because there's no set and because there's no costumes, you can also film many scenes in one day. So it's a lot of work.
It's also, the big difference is because the player can make choices, triangle, circle, X, and square, each line of dialogue is done in succession. So you would say one line as Hank, and then I reply, and then there's a pause. And I reply a different way, there's a pause. I reply the third way, and then the fourth way, and then you speak again. So it's not in a film or a television or a play, you know, you take turns and it's more naturalistic, like how we would talk. But for the branching narrative of performance capture, we will do many options back to back, and you have to, we call it a cycle. On set, we would do a cycle, so in between the different choices, we'll take a pause, reimagine, now it's angry, or now take a pause, and now it's kind. So we would shoot all of these back to back, which is very unusual for an actor. Working together was a lot of fun. Many times on set, because of the performance capture technology, if you're not wearing the suit, the Lycra suit with the motion capture dots, you're invisible on the set. So they can record one actor's performance with anyone reading the lines, and then when this actor is gone, film the other actor separate. So they can edit these two, could be filmed months apart, but they can put them together. So working with Amelia, we were lucky to be on stage at the same time. So we could actually, more like a play, respond and listen to each other instantaneously, instead of it being all very edited, cut together in post-production. Yes, David Cage told me on set when I did this, I'm gonna rewind. When Connor does everything as simple as possible, so always the most efficient movement. So as a human might go to open a door, they might just, there's a lot of motion. Connor, so when Hank is sleeping and we have to wake him up, it's very simple. But I remember David Cage, the director, is telling me on set, like, no, it's too big, just simple, but it's Connor, so. I auditioned for Detroit many times. Sometimes for a film or television, you might have 1, 2, 3 auditions. For Detroit Become Human, I auditioned maybe 5 or 6 times before working on it, and the first audition I did was actually the dialogue from the Kara tech demo. So I think 2012 with Valerie Curry, they had a tech demo where they showed the technology, the new game engine, and this is what incited the story of Detroit Become Human. The script that they gave me for the audition was the monologue from Kara, from the tech demo. where she's waking up and they say, oh no, she can feel. And then they're going to shut her down and she says, no, I want to live. So this was what they used for the audition for Connor.
How do you like prepare yourself for that?
I don't know how big the script is because I only ever saw Connor's script. So I know that the material and for Connor there's the most dialogue options branching. So I made notes in my script using the triangle, circle, X, and square so that I could remember for myself each of the 4 responses each time. And I also use colors. So because the script is so big and there's so many branching choices, sometimes Connor can be most machine or most deviant. So I made a color wheel, like in Photoshop, there's a color wheel of with the color spectrum. I put this over the D&D grid of alignment, so chaotic, neutral, and so I put the grid over this and then marked my script, a very big script, green and red and blue and purple to correspond so that for myself we could film one scene and then I could go check to this big script and go, we're going red or we're going blue, so that I could keep track of all of the options.
Bryan also has an incredible memory. The fact that he was able to memorize all of the dialogue that he had was amazing. And I would help him when he was in Paris filming. I would be in Los Angeles and we would Skype call and I would be running lines with him in the morning and it would be nighttime for him the night before, but we were running lines over Skype.
He's my coach. I think video games are the future. I think that technology will become more and more accessible. So they can do performance capture not just in big movies, but also on television, and more commonly accessible for independent developers and students. I also think that the technology that we use for Detroit Become Human, the student developers and indie developers will see Detroit and make evolutions in the technology even faster so that it's less less processing time. It's going to be more immediate. I've seen now technology where the actor can be on stage in real time, transferred to their digital character, almost like puppeteering.
Yeah.
So I think that as the technology gets more and more accessible, we're going to see it more and more, giving the player more choice over the story and the behavior of the characters. Study the voice, study physicality, dance, movement. In film and television, you know what the frame is. So you can do whatever is in the shot. With performance capture, everything is filmed from 360. So like in a play, we can look at someone's eyes, we can see someone's feet, we can see the behavior in their hands, we can see them from behind if they turn around. So this is the case for performance capture, is that you have to be alive in your whole body all the time for every shot. You can't be, as in film and TV, you know, it's just here, and then whatever's happening out of the frame can just be ignored. It's your whole body, much more like theater than film and television.
I was just going to say that it's very physical, different from film and TV, where it's much more constricted. Being on a performance capture stage is much more physical. You're using your whole body for everything. So I think
You want to take that one?
Yeah. It's a tricky question because after playing the video game Detroit Become Human, my instinct is to say no, I would not have one, But it would also be very nice to have someone to do the dishes, to do the laundry, you know, the chores that you just don't want to do, but then I'd also feel bad when I set you free.
Yeah.
I will add that I'm very nice to my phone when I say, Siri, can you set an alarm, please? Just in case.